Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. In a weird twist of events, I have somehow managed to avoid reviewing the Talisker Storm. It's their No Age Statement Whisky from Talisker. I've reviewed the 10, I've reviewed the 18, I've even reviewed the House Greyjoy Game of Thrones Talisker that they did, which, by the way, very good. If far as those go, if they're still around, that one's still worth picking up. But the Talisker Storm is one that most people will probably have as their first or maybe second Talisker. And I think that's worth celebrating. It's something that we should be talking about. And in fact, I ended up having a very long conversation on Discord just last night. Link to the Discord in the description thing. But about Talisker. And I kind of put it out there as being like, hey guys, like, what do we all think of Talisker Storm? Because frankly, I haven't had this in a few years. I'm having it now. I'm still really liking it. And everybody was just like, oh yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really good. And so I'm really happy to be able to share this one with you guys. And we'll talk a little bit about Talisker Storm. Produced at the Talisker Distillery, they have the distinction of being the oldest distillery on the Isle of Skye. And actually, one thing that's really cool is this box actually says the only distillery on the Isle of Skye. Now, this is a couple of years old, that's fair. I bought it in 2001. This bottle was actually mostly full up until last night when I realized that I hadn't reviewed this one yet, and I really wanted to. So this is totally fine. With a No Age Statement Whisky, your notes will be similar to mine. But I thought that was a cool little bit of history that's on the box. They've since changed the labeling and it's not on the new packaging, so it's history that I can recycle someday. Now, Talisker has been making whiskey since 1830 when Kenneth and Hugh McCaskill, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, right like that. I'm just going to use my dumb American accent and call him McCaskill. Now, they had an issue with the local clergy who did not want them to start up a distillery because whiskey's evil. Now, that's fine. I don't entirely disagree with them, but a lot of people like evil because by the end of the 1800s, around 1893, I want to say, they were the top-selling single malt whiskey in all of Scotland, just the Talisker 10. So that's kind of insane and not at all surprising when you get around to actually tasting Talisker. The Storm was released first in 2013 as a No Age Statement Whisky. It's still No Age Statement, but the master blender at the time, Jim Beveridge, yes, that's his real name, he wanted to make this whiskey, and the whole idea is, with No Age Statement, you don't have to adhere to any sort of years, right? You just have to legally be Scotch, and that's fine. But the whole idea is you can make whatever you want to meet a flavor profile. And I love No Age Statement whiskeys as long as they're done to not just use some like younger stuff. I like it when they go for a flavor profile and really just try to highlight something that a master blender or distiller wants to do. So I'm like all for No Age Statements, especially if they're appropriately priced, which this is. So in the case of this, it's 45.8% ABV. It is 100% malted barley. It's distilled in a copper pot still, and it's in recharred and new first fill American bourbon barrels. Jeez. Let's go ahead and have a nose and a taste, because I feel like maybe I need a drink. One thing I really like about the Talisker Storm's nose is nothing is overly potent. It's kind of a nice little blend here, right? So Talisker is known for being salty, a little bit smoky, maybe some like sea spray kind of thing, like you get like kind of a wet wood thing going on. And I will say that all three of those flavors or scents are present in the nose here. It starts off as a salty sea spray, and then it moves on to kind of like a wet wood, kind of like dousing a campfire. That's kind of a good way to put it, because it also has some smoke there, although not a ton of it. Aside from that, it's got kind of this lemongrass thing going on that you see with some of these maritime style whiskeys. If you smell a lot of sea spray in your whiskey, there's a very good chance that you're also going to get lemon scents as well. Just something about the fresh crispness that is reminiscent of both things kind of work really well together. Additionally, there's some orange in there, maybe like I wouldn't say like a chocolate orange, but it's not. Maybe, you know what I'm gonna go with? It's almost like an orange oil that you might like. What's the word? Like disperse or whatever you call it. You put it in a one of those things that evaporates the smell. I like that. It's like an orange oil. Let's go ahead and have a taste. Cheers. It is... It's surprisingly clean, if that makes much sense. Like, when you smell and taste smoke, sometimes it can be a little bit harsh or like astringent. This is just nice. It's almost like breathing in a waft of smoke on a sea breeze. I know, but it really is. So that's fine. I'll go with it. So I'm going to go sea salt spray or briny, like maritime kind of peat smoke kind of thing going on there. So let me be a little bit more clear. Maritime, salt air, peat smoke, subtly. All right, let's have another sip. That was a lot. Little black pepper. There is some berry flavor going on here. I want to say like, not a cranberry, but definitely not a raspberry. What else is there? I don't know. It tastes like a red berry. Like, it's not strawberry, it's not cranberry, it's not raspberry. What else could it be? Maybe like currants? I think those are red. I don't know. A little bit. Whether they are or not, I feel like that might be a little bit of what I'm tasting here. Yeah, I like that actually. But to put this a little bit less specific, I guess, this just tastes like a very enjoyable, easy to drink, lightly peated Scotch with with a finish, not an aftertaste, because aftertaste kind of has a negative connotation, with a nice gentle finish that also lasts for a long time. I just think it's got a great flavor. Let's talk overall here. So with the Talisker Storm, this has the qualities of being very easy to drink, lightly peated, very easy. Like, it's just something that you could sit and actually sip and not care about. In fact, I was drinking it last night while editing videos. So it was kind of mindless, but it was also delicious. The finish is long, but not very potent. So it's not going to just be like, I'm smoky, I'm smoky, I'm smoky. Oh, have some more of me. It's more like, hey, remember that smoky whiskey you drank like 20 seconds ago? Yeah, that was good. So that's, you know, I think my whiskey talks like stoners. But here's the thing. This is $42, and the Talisker 10 in my area is about $52. Now, your prices might vary, but I looked these up just last night, and I could buy both of these for those prices. So I'm going to keep that in mind. So I wanted to make sure my nostalgia here, because I had this so early on with drinking whiskey, wasn't influencing my decision making. So I actually had the 10 and the Talisker Storm right next to each other. I even mixed them up or whatever. You're not going to confuse the two though. When you have the Talisker Storm, it's a little heavier peat. When you have the Talisker 10, it's a little like little different. It's a little smoother. But when I drank both of them, I actually liked the Storm better. And I saw somebody put it this way, and I told myself I wasn't going to say it, but it's such a good analogy. There are two sides to the same coin. I think you should have both the 10 and the Storm, and I think you should drink both of them and make a decision for yourself, especially at the price point you could totally afford these. That being said, if you are trying to decide between buying the Talisker Storm or the 10, my vote would be the Storm. And either way, I think this is actually, I think I'm going to give this one a stock it. I think I will likely have the Talisker Storm on my shelf constantly. And when I finish this bottle off, I will buy a new one. So I'm going to give this a rating of stock it. I think it's a very, very solid whiskey, especially for the price. And for a No Age Statement, shockingly very, very good. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary. Make sure to check out all the links below. There's the Patreon. I'm doing some new stuff with the Patreon, so go check that one out. And then, you know, all the Instagram, Discord. Come join us in the Discord. It's really nice in there. We talk all the time. It's fun. It would be good to get some new blood in there, too. Just bring your stories. Bring your whiskey stories. Tell us what you like. All right, other than that, I'm going to go sip this, and I'm going to go edit a video. So have a great rest of your night, and cheers.